I know what to do, but I just can't get the food right. That comes up a lot. Good morning. We've just finished our morning sessions at the studio. Next one is on in about an hour. So I thought I'd jump on and just discuss this. We had a bit of a chat this morning with someone in here, and we got discussing it. It's always valuable, these little ones. Morning, Joss. So I know what to do, but I just can't get the food right. I'm exercising, got into that routine, which for one is an amazing thing, by the way. If you're exercising now into a routine, but now you're beating yourself up because you know, I know I can't exercise a bad diet. Number one, you've got to give yourself credit first and foremost for getting that leg of the stool. We always talk about 3 legs of the stool: the food, the fitness, the focus, that accountability side of things. And actually, morning show, if you get that fitness nailed already, that's going to take less willpower. So don't underestimate that. Don't underestimate the power of what that does. Now, there's a few things I'm going to go over here, a few strategies. Number one is a really simple one, and that is to make sure that when things are habitual, when they're, walking into the staff room and there's biscuits there and you're just like, oh, I just grab them. You've got to create a bit of a pattern interrupt. Who are you eating with? Where are you? First and foremost, just be aware of them. Hey, Teresa, because you start to notice that your environment's starting to dictate what you do. And you might know that already, it's really obvious, and it really is obvious, but it's only obvious once you write it down, and then you can do something about it and have a look at, okay, I'm always eating when I'm with them or when I'm there. So how can I get myself out of that environment more often than not? That's the first question, yes or no. Now, number two, consider the question, what's the benefits of having it? What's the benefits of saying yes to that? This can be quite a powerful exercise, because if it starts coming up that you're people pleasing, it's rude to say no, all these things, you're essentially saying that your perception of potentially you thinking that they'll be not happy with you if you say no to a biscuit that they've offered you, probably not even made, at the expense of how you're going to feel and how you say you feel. Because remember, there's no problem with having biscuits in the office at all. Give yourself permission to have as many as you want. But we're only having this conversation because they think it is a problem, or they want to change that and get a handle on that. So this isn't about saying you can't have it. This is about asking questions. What's the benefits of having it? And then we can start to bring awareness. We're not being critical of ourselves. We're not doing that. We're just being curious. And this is quite a boring way around it, but it's the only way I can pretty much guarantee you'll really put this to bed. Then consider what the costs are of having it. So what are the costs of having it? If I say yes to it, what are the costs of having it? To me, to my mood, to my energy levels, to the rest of the day. What do I do for the rest of the day? Do I just write off, oh, I've messed up now, I might as well just have 10. Remember when that comes in? And actually write these statements down. Write down the statements that monkey on your shoulder says sometimes. And it's almost, we can start to look at our rational brain. Our rational brain will start to come on and overcome these maybe emotional responses. Maybe we haven't had much sleep, which comes into it as well. And when just know that if you are lacking sleep, your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain which allows you to make better informed decisions, kind of dampens down, switches off a little bit. The result of that is then we perceive foods as more highly rewarding than they actually are, which for one is an issue, because when you now perceive foods as more rewarding, your brain's going to go heightened to the smell and to the look of it. And then we're not as satisfied as we thought we were, then we actually crave more. Now, you've also got to consider that when you're at work and in these situations, then just being aware of this is super powerful. That you're probably procrastinating on something, a bit tired, a bit rushed, a bit stressed, which means you need convenience. So another strategy here is to not only ask the questions, what are the benefits, what are the costs, and write them down prior to this event and take them with you, by the way. I forgot to say that, but that's pretty important. But to also bring something else in, which is also easy and convenient, whether that's a cold hot soup that you can literally have cold or hot, whether that's a protein shake, whether that's some fruit on the side. Have something with you so you've always got a choice, so you don't get caught out. And just consider, what are the costs, what are the benefits? And if you're really struggling with this, try this exercise. You might laugh. If you really think about the habit that you're trying to get a handle on, a good way to understand it is to imagine that an alien's knocked on your door and the alien wants to learn your habit. So if it's snacking in the office and grabbing something even when you're not hungry, write down step-by-step instructions on how you would teach an alien to eat when they're not hungry. This sounds really odd, and it often gets a lot of people laughing at what they often do, especially when you come up with questions like, eat when you're not hungry, and go through the type of questions that an alien would actually maybe ask back. Like, so I eat when I'm not hungry. How do you do that? Well, you just eat really quick. How do you feel after? Well, then I feel a bit tired. All these questions start to come to it, and then we start to go, we become aware of what we're doing, rather than in that, just get through the day, and then all of a sudden, oh, I've messed up, etc. So key take homes from this: give yourself 100% permission to eat what you want. That's first and foremost. If you feel it's a problem, how do you know it's a problem? And I say this because how do you know it's actually a problem? Because it might not be a problem. Sometimes we just assume that we should never eat biscuits, so because we've eaten a biscuit from time to time that it's a problem. And actually, maybe that's not actually true. Maybe you just think that you have to be perfect to do it, and that's a problem in itself. Then consider, what's the costs and what's the benefits of doing this? What's the cost of eating? What's the benefits of doing it? Am I doing it to people please? Just become aware of what you're doing. The more you do this, the better. Can you also make something convenient and easy at that time? Protein shake, yogurt, hot cold soup, fruit, veggie sticks, whatever it is. Have something that also makes it easy and convenient. Is it that you're skipping breakfast in the morning and then hungry mid-morning? But see, there's so many variables. The more I chat about this, the more variables will come in, and the more answers I'd have back would also help us consider more variables in there. So I hope that helps and gives you something to think about today. Happy Friday. Any questions, as always, do let me know, and I'll see you soon.